Alright, so I got a little bit of charge on my phone so we can record for you the actual situations, the abuse that I'm enduring, and of course the fact that it is, in fact and indeed, slander. People should probably look at both sides before making a decision. You should probably look at evidence before witch hunting and all of that crap. You get to see over and over on my channel. People assault me and I do not assault them back. They hit me and I do not hit them back. They threaten my life and I do not threaten their lives back. What my predators do is the equivalent of, oh, I only hit him because I thought he was going to hit me first. No, that ain't like that. A lot of folks have never been targeted by a bunch of assholes like this. So the concept is completely foreign to them. Meanwhile, they'll watch a horror movie where there's one psycho in it. Meanwhile, I've got a bunch of psychos in mine. Oh, they like to call names, but they don't like being called names back. They like telling others what to do, but they don't like being told what to do. Ugh. Wolnez wants to accuse me of killing someone in Colorado. The cops here have repeatedly told people, professionals that I'm supposed to go to for help. The police have told them that I was wanted for murder in Colorado. Told homeless people that. Told the folks at, what was it? What's the name of that place? The one in Warrenton. First Steps. Same bullshit. Now, if I was wanted for murder anywhere in the United States, I'd have been arrested. I tell people what calls I need to make, the ones who say they'll help me, but they don't often have the time to do it. When I make the calls alone, I get talked over. Now let's go ahead and set the record straight. Let's plug in my phone here to the external charger. At the end of the last video, you get to hear me and Josh having our conversation. And yes, I told him I was recording. He was very well aware of it. I also tell him very often, I'll tell you I'm sorry I'm not recording if I'm not recording. And I don't always keep my word on that either. It's not intentional, it's just something I space. A lot of times I'll have conversations and not realize that I'm still recording because I was busy doing other stuff or because I have actual worries. Now let's ask the almighty internet who it is that killed Natalie Marie Bollinger. See, while this Andrew Wolnez feller wants to pretend that I'm wanted for murdering Natalie Bollinger, while these officers and, of course, mental health workers want to pretend that the situation in Colorado, the abuse from that and the abuse from the officers there, like that wouldn't follow me anywhere. The fact is, it does. Who killed Natalie Bollinger?
Joseph Lopez. According to 9 News, Joseph Lopez, 23, told investigators that he shot Natalie Bollinger after responding to an ad she'd placed on Craigslist looking for someone to kill her. According to court documents previously obtained by 9 Wants to Know, Lopez has been sentenced to 48 years in prison plus 5 years probation as part of the plea deal.
For shooting my best friend in the head. The reality is, at the time that her and I were friends, she was the only friend I had. Of course, these Natalie Bollinger sites, they don't care about the truth. They care about what'll get them the juiciest ratings, the most viewers. Let's go back to the very beginning. How did all of this start with wolnez? Christian threatening to kill people. Alright, so we looked that up. This is how the racism started with those youngins at Tillamook Sporting Goods. The bullying from them. It started with this day right here. I stay away from people that do drugs for the most part. Here, let's get it all the way back to the very beginning. What about that one guy? That's why I stay away from people that do drugs for the most part, and people that drink. Do what? I said that's why I stay away from people who do drugs for the most part, and people who drink. Excuse me? People who do drugs and people who drink. It's not a matter of judgment, it's a matter of safety.
Sorry. I don't really do that ever. And if I do, I'm not fucking around.
Well, you do.
No, I don't.
Like right now, it's not difficult to tell that you're on one. Now, I started this recording very specifically because, well, after Christian had vandalized things down there on more than one occasion and urinated on my vehicle and was smoking his drugs under a blanket and, well, in this video, he was walking up and he was screaming that he was going to kill people as he was walking up to my vehicle, and I started recording because of that.
It's either a problem or I'm solving it. Motherfuckers owe me a goddamn backup! Stop! like it's a goddamn game.
So that's Christian screaming there.
And eventually this will lead to me screaming for help.
That's me commenting on it.
Your trucks look like children's toys.
It's funny because it's mostly children driving them.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Got a lighter too? Got a lighter.
I do.
Wanted a cigarette, wanted to use a lighter.
You're tithing.
Christian,
I'll fucking kill you.
God damn it.
And there he goes threatening to kill people.
Why are you running me?
I'm not real comfortable with people threatening to kill people.
I don't give a fuck. They threatened to kill me since I was a fucking child.
Well, I've been assaulted a lot and had a lot of people threaten to kill me and my friends and family, and it does trigger me. If I threaten people like that, where's it at?
June 12th.
I know I have one, I just don't see it.
It's December now.
I get tracked. It's not a team sport. Still took the fucking team to the state. When they talk shit about all the white girls that did it with me.
This video's pretty long, but this is where it went from them youngins screaming stuff like white power and screaming and things like that out the window occasionally to straight up targeting me. Straight up bullying me, threatening me, intimidating me, and wanting to make a bunch of sexual innuendos and stuff like that I was not comfortable with. And in recording after recording after recording with them, I told them I didn't think that was appropriate. I didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable with it. But it was over another person who I had been nice to and given a cigarette. And, of course, with many of the people out here on drugs, especially when they're coming down, they won't take no for an answer, or they will use the word no as an excuse to go damage people and property. So saying no is a very dangerous proposition out here, potentially for you, potentially for someone else. And Christian Alexander Sharrow is a very clear example of this. So what happened after that? Well, let's fast forward a bit. Misty Potter and Sean David.
He is.
Alright, so in this video, this is from August 30th. This is after quite a while of these youngins heavy and hardcore pulling this stuff, several months of it. And I was down there at the Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot. And a lot of the business owners had asked me to keep an eye on their businesses. And I did. Let's see. Where was it at in this video? $47 minutes maybe. Yep. It's a little bit before that. We'll go to 47:05.
Cigarettes unless the lights are off.
No,
And under the
before
blankets.
that, we'll go to, I guess, 46 minutes.
shit and blocks me.
45, 35, I guess. Close enough.
Which is better than pretending to be my friend. By a lot. If you're gonna be my friend, be my friend.
Now you notice I'm not talking to anybody but my phone. I am minding my business. I am speaking about the situation that I'm enduring. And on this particular night, unlike many, many nights before it, in this, I'm about to comment on the fact that at least they're leaving me alone for once. I'm going to speak about how good it is that they're not doing that stuff for once.
But if you ain't gonna help me to turn in abuse, you're not a friend. If any of them youngins out here were victimized in a serious way, do you really think I'd just stand here and watch? I'd pull out my camera, I'd start recording, and I'd make some real loud fucking noises. I've done that time and again on my channel. You can see it with your own two eyes and hear it with your own two ears.
I'll show you an example right after this video.
I get the attention of the predator. I get it focused on me. Oh, looks like there are a bunch of youngins here tonight. They're not yelling. They're not screaming or shouting. Well, there they start with the N-word already. Of course they're not yelling at me. Of course they're... Alfie Templar type, yeah, stand in line, 6 feet apart, stand in doorway.
Making a comment. I mean, just absurdity out of the youth here in this town. And I say youth because they're not kids. They're driving around in vehicles. They got driver's licenses. Some of them are for certainly old enough to drink. They're just younger than me. You should hear how Andrew Wolnez tries to play that later on. This is in August. And Wolnez starts his stuff over these youth. He starts his stuff September 21st.
Don't breathe. That's right, and no cigarettes unless the lights are off and under the blankets.
I was actually looking at the chat there. Since it's paused, I suppose I can show it. We'll see if it'll let me show the live comments. Nope, it won't. Well, it was worth a try.
Them youngins are... Now, isn't that cute? First thing they do when I come into view is start yelling racist slurs. And then, of course, there's the megaphone thing.
Now in this, they accused me of all sorts of messed up stuff. It's because they were pissed off that they were screaming the N-word at me and being highly inappropriate and very derogatory and very mean. You get to hear this. This is their little mini KKK rally that they had. Now I'll show you what I do when somebody's being victimized. This one right here. This is in the Dalles, Oregon. The guy pushed her. She tries walking away from him. That's Jamie trying to get away from him. When she's got her back turned, he runs up to her. When she faces him, he doesn't run. She's got her back turned again. There's a lot of space between him and her. runs up and fucking clocks her in the back of her head. There's about 30 people there, by the way.
We can't have people hitting people. That ain't okay. All right. I'm Sean Schwartz.
Yeah, this guy's twice my size.
Sean Schwartz.
That's my sister. Right?
It doesn't make it okay to hurt people.
I threw a piece of breed on her face.
Just so you know, in this video, he also claims to have killed somebody. Talks about his time in prison. I was very diplomatic about it. Now, there's a lot meaner stuff that these youth did here. A lot meaner stuff, and it is recorded. We're trying to be as nice as we possibly can about the situation. I don't have a choice in whether or not Andrew Wolnez stalks me. He chose to do wrong things, just as those youth chose to do wrong things, just as Christian chose to do wrong things. When Christian threatened to kill them, that doesn't give them a reason or a valid excuse to target me. Them youth targeting me and getting busted doing it doesn't give them a valid excuse to have somebody like Andrew Wolnez come and target me. Now, we can go through every single last mean thing that has been said and done by these people. Well, it looks like one of the ones that I recorded earlier did not work right. That does happen from time to time. The more Wolnez pulls this stuff, the more he ends up on my YouTube channel. Now, if I could safely turn it into the police, that means with somebody when it happens. But I gotta have somebody who's gonna advocate for me there and present. And those people aren't always there. That would be Nathan and Candy. There's a lot of other people there who have been witnesses to the situations. And there's recording after recording of him saying all sorts of stuff and doing all sorts of stuff to me over it. And I speak up about it because someone has to. He chose to be predatory towards me. That was his decision. Just as it was Tim Beeson's decision to be predatory towards me. I take a lot of hate. I also speak up. I'll just scroll through here because I do record every day. I speak about the situations, about having to be afraid of the police and why. And many other people speak up about that on my channel as well, knowing full well that I'm recording. That is a lot of damn videos. I found out what Andrew Wolnez's name was because when he decided to pull his stuff the very first time, that very same day he got on in the library and wanted to comment. And as soon as he started commenting on my videos, told me his name, oh, I scrolled back too far that time. There's a lot of people that want to pretend I'm a bad person for speaking up. If you're not predatory towards me, I have no reason to speak up, do I? Now, this guy wanted to tell me that those youngins, that the N-word is just part of their vocabulary. See, the reason that I started this video with Wolnez, I wasn't there to record. I was there to turn in my cans. I didn't know Wolnez from any other hole in the wall. I only knew that I'd seen him before. Couldn't quite place where, and I was able to place where later on. Now this is Andrew Wolnez starting his BS. This is after he's been doing it for about a minute. I've looked around for somebody with one of the Safeway hats that I can go over to because people do this shit all the time. It's not that I'm bringing problems to the store. It's that people are harming me no matter where I go. Whether it's Safeway, the library, Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot, Fred Meyer's. It doesn't matter where I go. I have to deal with this. Now this is at the soda machines where you change in your cans to get money. And this is after he's started yelling at me about some youngins and some bullshit, and about how those youngins down at the Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot, they've been screaming stuff at me, throwing stuff at my vehicle. Yeah, there's videos in here where they were throwing stuff at my vehicle here in the Safeway parking lot, fireworks and things like that, pumpkins, tampons, eggs, toilet paper. Same thing over at the library parking lot across the street. They've kept this up this entire time, same as Wolnez has kept this up this entire time. Now this is my first interaction with Wolnez. This is after he's already started shit. I obviously can't run away. Obviously turning my back on him is a bad idea. You got to see what happened to Jamie the 2 times she turned her back. She got cold-cocked. This guy wanted to start shit, and I stood up to him, and he didn't like it.
Antagonistic and threatening over something to do with some kids. You'll just have to ask him. Poor guy. See, talking trash.
You get to hear there, he accused me of smoking blues all day. Now let's continue playing this so that you can hear even more slander out of him.
All these little druggies out here do this.
Yeah, just talk to your fucking
Ain't no
lucky.
different.
You're fucking lucky, dude. You're fucking lucky.
I am not lucky. I'm
are.
stuck with people like you,
Ooh,
junkies
dude.
like you.
I'm not a junkie. I don't do drugs.
Get out of my face. Do not
Fuck
touch
you.
me. Do not touch me.
Don't ever
Do
call me a
not touch
fucking
me.
druggie. I don't
Do
do
not
drugs.
touch me. You can talk about me doing blues. I don't touch that shit.
I've seen
now
you.
back off of me. Lying
Fuck
sack
you.
shit. Do not. Back
you.
off of me.
Fuck
back off.
Fuck you.
Back off.
Fuck you.
Back
Now you
off.
see that? What he did is decide that he was going to be an antagonistic asshole. Now, of course, he does not want to be assaulted for the shit that he's calling me, does he? But he's fine with assaulting me, isn't he? He's fine with slandering my name, but he don't want to be called none of that stuff back, does he? He doesn't like it back. Now, if it hadn't been for the fact that he was trying to lie about me to people in the surrounding area and trying to get other people to jump me by claiming I'm fucking around with kids, I wouldn't have taken this nearly the way that I did, because, see, I'm used to open hostility from people. But this guy's got severe mental problems. See, them youngins did wrong shit. They did wrong shit to me, and they got busted doing it. I'm not going to pretend that Christian Alexander Shero was perfect. I'm not going to pretend that him threatening to kill people is okay. Now, if all them youngins were all threatening to kill him over and over and over again, well, I'd think much differently about it. That's where context is important. So let's continue playing what this guy says, and you'll get to see I do my best not to turn my back on him, to remain facing him until I see somebody professional. By this time, I've already been given instructions on what I'm supposed to do when I'm victimized by somebody. I've spoken up about how people have their own families, their own lives. The two people that are trying to help me at the Safeway the most, that have actually gotten to see some of this stuff, actually taken a look at it, actually looked at some of the stuff between Natalie Bollinger and I, read all of the messages between her and I. Well, not all of them. There's a lot of them on my computers. Natalie and I were friends. The people that I went in and told, I always made sure that I went in to tell somebody when I was being victimized. Or when somebody else is. I do try to go the professional routes, and I'm sent in circles. Meanwhile, I have to deal with predators like this.
And that's all you do?
Fucking druggy piece of shit.
Oh, you're fucking.
Jesus goddamn Christ.
This guy needs to fucking go.
You see, he tries to enlist and recruit other people to try to harm me. You're going to get to listen because he doesn't stop. He just keeps on yelling at everybody around him. Yelling at everyone around him. Now, obviously, while he's preoccupied and I just seen somebody with a Safeway hat, I do start leaving. If he assaults me from the back, at least somebody will see it.
I'll head over here and wait my turn.
See that bag of cans? Was I there to go harass Wolnez? I didn't know who the fuck he was. I was there to change in that bag of cans right there.
Could you get someone to borrow it, please?
Now, of course, this is the life that I get to deal with. People wanting to...
While he's screaming at a bunch of strangers in the background, I'm speaking to my phone and trying to deal with this as calmly and collectively as possible. You don't think that shit razzles and frazzles me? I'm told that I brought it on myself because I recorded it. Meanwhile, that's what the police required, isn't it? They required that I have recordings of these situations. They'll come and arrest me because somebody made an accusation, but they'll ignore this evidence. And that's the thing about Wolnez is that I obviously don't feel safe going to the police alone. I have to have somebody who knows what's going on go in with me so that when the police try to sell their bullshit narrative over the top of it, that they're there to speak up and say, no, that's not okay. You don't get to dictate his statement. You don't get to decide what his story is. Now you get to hear him accuse me of all sorts of stuff in the background here. I'll get this closer so that you can hear all the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Bullies, people wanting to threaten, people wanting to harass, and me having to be the gentleman.
And then this guy. And he wants to come over and give you a game. He wrote online about a bunch of shit. Talk shit about it. And he wants to be a fucking battle. Fuck you.
Did I write about a bunch of kids, or did I record racism towards me? Did I record the bullying towards me? The targeting towards me? Andrew Wolnez is pissed off about the same things them youngins are pissed off about. They did wrong shit and they got busted doing it. And here Wolnez is doing the same thing, and he's getting busted doing it.
Fighting out here.
Ain't no fighting. I stepped away as soon as I saw somebody professional looking. I
I don't mind waiting over here until he's done with his turn. He's just gonna keep running his mouth though. See, that's the point here. I don't choose for people to bully, but I certainly choose to stand up to them. Bonjour. That was a good catch earlier, by the way. Now, of course, I could go over there and start trouble with him. I could even try threatening him like he was doing. But the thing is, avoiding druggies is nearly impossible. You just can't do it. So what do I do?
See, there you get to hear him in the background calling me a piece of shit and a pedophile. And let's see, what was it, like 2 minutes and 38 seconds there? He wanted to call me a pedophile. I guess that's close enough. We'll get it real close, so hopefully you can hear it.
Go over there and start trouble with him. I could even try threatening him like he was doing. But the thing is, avoiding druggies is nearly impossible. You just can't do it. So what do? I make sure I record it. When you don't do what people want right when they want it, what do? They generally throw tantrums like children, and then they don't like being recorded doing it. I don't mind taking my time. I don't mind turning in the cans as soon as he's done with his turn over there. And it looks like he almost is. You don't care who's right and wrong in any situation. You care who's popular.
Just so you know, he threatens to break my phone and does a bunch of other screaming and hooting and hollering and shouting. And here's the thing. Once you've been predatory towards me, once you've actually put your hands on me, once you've gotten up in my face and screamed and shouted at me and tried to enlist other people to commit harmful acts against me through slander, yeah, I'm going to record every time you come anywhere fucking near me until I'm able to turn your ass in. And after I'm able to turn your ass in, if you come near me again, I'm going to record it as well. Because you need to stay away from me. This guy didn't have any valid excuse for harming me. He didn't have any valid excuse to pretend I was a pedophile. And he certainly doesn't have any valid excuse now either. Now let's ask this magic YouTube. First, we'll fast forward this. We'll get to, I think it's like 13 minutes in. See, all this right here is me basically just trying to wait my fucking turn so I can turn in my goddamn cans. I was broke. I needed money. I even went back to my car until it looked like he was gone, and I got out and started taking my cans over, and that's, of course, when I noticed that he was doing what? Walking my direction. Let's see. All right, it's right here, I think. 14:13, I guess. Close enough. 14:21.
And was it just to be an asshole? No, it wasn't. Same reason I stand up to the rest of you fucking punk asses. I'm a nice guy.
Sarcasm. At this point, I didn't even know his
Make
name.
sure that we keep the guy recorded in case he tries anything again.
This is literally the very same recording. He's coming across the street, starts swinging.
You do not
Get to see him swing more than once. He also hits my phone a bunch too.
There he is. That's the thing, is that people look for trouble. They look for trouble.
They try to find somebody that they think is easy to victimize. Somebody who's alone. Somebody who's already segregated. Maybe somebody who's new. Somebody who doesn't have any friends or family members to help them.
You pretend like everything is yours and you own it all, and that harming innocent people is okay. Now, this is just the very first day, September 21st. This is after I've had to try to call 911 over those youth. Not just screaming that racist stuff over and over and over again, but throwing things at my vehicle, threatening to harm me, trying to run me out of town, not doing a very effective job. I don't choose for people to victimize me. And when people try to insinuate that I deserve it because I spoke up about it, that's not okay. Now, I don't know what the police said to Rihanna, but her situation and the way that she spoke to me about it after that is far different than the way she interacted with me beforehand. Of course, with the cops telling people like Candy that, what is it that the officer told her? That I brought it on myself. Meanwhile, Sadler's one of the officers I'm trying to turn in. Martinez is one of the officers I'm trying to turn in. Lothman is one of the officers I'm trying to turn in. Wolnez isn't the first person to do this. And of course, I made video after video speaking out about it.
Antagonistic and threatening over.
Now let's see. I believe he commented on this one. And ended up getting blocked from my channel. I was able to find his name because he wanted to get on and pretend like he wasn't threatening me, wasn't antagonizing me, that he hadn't done anything wrong. Well, when somebody does that shit to me, I certainly do speak up. I got his name from him. Now he wanted to tell people I was a pedophile. Now he wants to claim that he's got some evidence from 1986. Amazing. Now the name of this video is Andrew Wolnez and the racist. Nope, that's not it. It's Andrew Wolnez. Show us on this Pegasus where the bad Sean touched you. Now, mind you, I always start off nice. But when somebody is being that antagonistic, they're fighting that hard to try to get other people to hurt you with them. Like Christopher Kurth of Chapel, Nebraska, doing so with Carl Snell. And Carl Snell implicating his own brother, Clint Snell, in the threats against my life. Well, fuck yeah, I recorded that stuff.
Don't touch you. Go ahead. You made some accusations, son. I expect you to back your shit up. Especially when you was trying to get violent. It's unfortunate that you couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Now that's the thing. I was told he did actually connect a few times with me when he was doing that. Of course, I didn't fucking feel it. I thought he missed me altogether. Now, I take accusations like that very seriously. And for good reason. Well, I guess 7:05 is close enough. After Andrew Wolnez be predatory towards me, to threaten me, to harass me, to assault me,
and to attempt to break my phone in the very first interaction with him, the very first video, a video that I only started because he was bullying me over shit that he wasn't bothering to find out both sides in. Did not care.
That's Predator.
You call me a fucking predator?
There he is, kicking my vehicle.
Predator over here beating on my vehicle.
Don't be. Call me a predator?
There he is, swinging at me and poking at my phone.
You're being predatory towards me. Fucking 6 kids,
He definitely missed me in this one.
You are predatory. Fuck you, motherfucker. Do not touch me. You're fucking lucky I don't beat your fucking ass. Back off. Get out of the fucking car and fucking back off, Chimo. Fuck you, Chimo. Back off. You call me a Chimo. You're fucking lucky. Do not threaten.
Now you see that?
Back off. I am not.
Wanted for murder.
Wanted for murder. Lying sack of shit. You fucking dumbass.
Now, in our very first interaction, what did he want to do? Wanted to make false allegations as an excuse for physical harm and for harm against my property, for threats, harassment, and intimidation. And it's ongoing. It's been ongoing.
Get the fuck out of here. Oh, in Colorado. Look at that. Get the fuck out of here. Dumb cunt.
I'm over at the library parking lot at this point. So we've seen him pulling this bullshit at 3 different locations. Over at the Safeway, at the can return. We've seen him do it at the Townsend Hall. And we've seen him do it at my car, parked over at the Tillamook, or sorry, not Tillamook Sporting Goods parking lot, the library parking lot. Now, obviously, I've got many, many, many videos of people doing this stuff where I'm not having to yell back at them. Or I just go my own way. If I walk away, Wolnez follows me. And then he talks trash because I'm walking away. Meanwhile, what am I told to do when he does this stuff? To walk away. And we can see here, I do keep speaking up. And I speak up about the fact that it's not just Wolnez. I speak up about many of my predators. I show who they are. There's Robert Franklin Mornick, a registered sex offender in the state of Nebraska, and one of my predators. And we could see, I do keep showing this stuff. I do keep speaking out. Now, which one of these videos has Wolnez in it, screaming and shouting? I don't know. Now, let's take a look at the drugs here. Of course I videoed that. Of course I cleaned them up. Of course I let the people at Safeway know that the drugs were out there. Over and over again. And I make sure I speak about the people like this lady here, Nicole Vertner, who works at the hospital, sent me to Brian, and we should really take a look at the situation with Brian, too. Here's dinner at Seventh-day Adventist Church. Now, of course, I'm recording for my safety. As always, this is not the first time I've been assaulted at this church, by the way, or threatened or otherwise. Wolnez does the same thing over and over. I think it's probably about here, we'll see. I've already eaten dinner, I'm 35 minutes into it.
Let's see if I go locate myself a tobacco. What part is the tobacco?
This is right after the police left, too. I record for my safety because of a lot of people just like Wolnez.
Not one video.
Oh, that guy right
As soon
there.
as he starts yelling at me,
See, now that's the thing. I didn't say nothing to him. You need to stop. 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 You need to
notice I
stop.
do
Do
turn my
not hit
back
my
to him,
stuff.
and he starts
Do
hitting
not
me.
hit my stuff. Do not. Do not hit my things. Stop.
You don't fucking realize that these fucking...
Yeah, dude.
And yet, he literally hit me repeatedly, over and over again, and hit my phone, obviously. And you can hear it, and you can see it. And this was September 27th. There's even more than that, too, though. Like, he just kept it up. And I kept on recording it. He wanted to keep it up. That was his choice. Me telling on my predators is my choice. Now, of course, he doesn't like any of the nasty things that he called me. He doesn't like being called any of those things back. And of course, here for a while, I'm focusing on the main issue here. Mandated reporters not doing their jobs. Police not doing their jobs. Through most of this, I am not focusing on Wolnez at all, but he just can't knock his shit off. And eventually, it comes full circle. Oh, this is my hand after some youngins threw some gasoline on me. Awful sweet of them. Over and over. Speaking up about the police. Speaking up about how stupid it is to make RPGs. It's just sad that I can't show you all the gruesome pictures of people who made those homemade and ended up fucked up permanently. Because it's gross. Now, there's a lot of this stuff on here. There's a lot of other topics of conversation. Here's Ryan Woods. He's the feller who drove somebody else's vehicle through the airport here, or the air museum here. Matter of fact, here he is with the air museum. Then here them youngins. This is let's see, well, this one is the tampons, eggs, and granola bars.
Youngins threw some more stuff at my
And it was October 14th. That's my little sister's birthday.
Hell, it is.
Over lives in Tillamook, Oregon. Tampons, eggs, granola bars, toilet paper. Got the license plate.
Looks like granola bar. Whatever it is, they threw more than one of them at me. Oh, toilet paper. And another granola bar. And
Later on in the video, I
tampons.
actually pull out a flashlight to show all of it.
How terribly kind of them.
This is the youngins that are supposedly not racist. It's just part of their
There's the toilet
vocabulary.
paper. Granola bar. Tampon.
Good to hear Josh come up to me in this video too.
Fuckers.
Sorry, it's not the best quality, and I'm having
So,
to.
how very
It's not
kind of them, right?
focused and nice.
And of course, they honked. There's another one.
I started recording for a reason. People were victimizing me.
When you're
bastards are pelting my vehicle with granola bars. Oh, over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they ran right past me.
Yeah?
That and a cat.
Yeah, I heard something scream. I don't know if it was a scream or maybe you opened your door.
Oh no, it was definitely the cat chasing something.
Okay. Yeah, it was a raccoon that took off. I seen that.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious I'm not able to run away from these people.
Goddamn. That's just not cool.
Let's see if we can fast forward it to when they throw more shit.
ZVF 568. ZVF 56.
Alright.
Alright. I honestly couldn't read if it said Denali or if it said Tacoma. It's the same type of lettering.
They went back around the block, and that's when I was able to get it, so it would have been right before this.
There they are. ZVF 568. ZV.
Like I said, it's not just wolnez. What kind of a vehicle is that? Hello, Wisdom Seeker. I would really like it if you could watch this whole video. Welcome back to my channel. I don't know what the I-9 is supposed to mean, but yeah, ZVF 568, silver pickup, throwing eggs, toilet paper, insults, granola bars. Of course, I spoke about it the next day as well. And of course, there's a lot of other people that chose to be predatory towards me. And a lot of people who pretend to be advocates for men that don't advocate for us. This is another one where wolnez came up and started shit.
You have to be dead to be heard. Oh, wait. You're not going to be heard after you're dead. What's going to...
I don't remember exactly in this when he started his bullshit. I know that I went to the church. Is this the one with the church or the one with Malcolm? Sorry, I'm scrolling through it and trying to find the part that all this stuff happened. Maybe here?
Oh, shit. Almost out of battery. 5%. My phone's busted up and I haven't made any money.
This is October 17th, day before my birthday. Was it after this? Maybe here.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Talking about you this one time about the dog. Don't keep bringing them. Oh, I gotta take them everywhere.
Oh, there's a couple of travelers who brought their dog. Oh, I found it.
This is the one where Malcolm got involved.
In time, they didn't deal with it appropriately. You don't bully the victim. What Molly was doing, I just wanted her to stop. When somebody's predatory towards me, I absolutely record. I make sure that I do. So when people start swinging or breaking my things, I can record it. Now, if he hadn't been predatory towards me before, he wouldn't have gotten recorded before or since. Once you swung on me, that's it. Anytime I see you, I'm going to make sure that I document it. And even though cops will arrest me just based on somebody's word, they tell me that they can't do anything unless it's recorded. But then even when it's recorded, they won't take a look. By that point, I've already been shown that I have to be afraid of the police. There's a lot of really nice people here. A lot of people that just don't understand. Now, I understand with the addicts out here. Don't get me wrong, I get that alcohol addiction is different from a meth addiction. I get that for me, quitting drinking over 20 years ago is different from
Yelling at other people, telling them I'm some sort of this or some sort of that. You can hear his voice in the background, and of course he's staring at me while he's saying it. I do my best to try to ignore it, but it just ain't a happening thing. So finally I ended up picking up my phone and making sure that I record, because he was definitely on his way.
I get treated like I'm a bad person because I record people being predatory, and I speak up about them being predatory. I also speak up about why. So, you gotta try to pretend everything's okay. At least while I'm on my knees here, I'm not shaking like a leaf. I get that people don't like being recorded. I never wanted to record people. I just wanted to go to work, go see my friends, and go to sleep. And try again the next day. I liked that routine. That was my favorite routine. Let me tell you my favorite routine ever. I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get dressed, go over to Gary Jepson's shop. Gary and Rory would come out and start working on the saws, and I'd start bringing them what they asked.
Found it.
When it comes to murder, men are 5 times more likely to be murdered. When it comes to being murdered by a spouse, yeah, men are actually more likely to be murdered. Oh, there's a predator right across the street. Robert Wolnez. Andrew Wolnez. So what do? Make sure I record it. Every time I see a predator, I make sure I record it. Get away. Do not hit my phone. Do not. Dickhead decide to assault me. Stop assaulting me. Stop assaulting me. Stop.
I'm wanting you to stop video.
Stop. Stop. I don't care what you want. You chose to victimize me and assault me on multiple occasions. No, I am not. I am recording it every time that you come around me. Get away from me. Leave me alone. Stop stalking me. Bullshit.
He's trying to play all sweet and innocent, like he never did anything wrong, like he's being recorded for no reason. Like, since he's using a calm voice this time, magically it makes it okay that he's committed all of these crimes. And yes, he was assaulting me. And then he says, oh, I wasn't assaulting you. The hell you weren't.
You to stop video.
Step off of me. Do not touch my phone.
This is harassment right here.
stop it again now.
I will not. He has assaulted me repeatedly. I will not stop recording.
Don't tell me what to do, man. I've been assaulted by him, too. No, you don't.
He says, I've been assaulted by him too. Well, he at least admitted that he was assaulting me, but he wasn't getting assaulted. He was assaulting me and trying to break my phone. No, those things are not legal. And no, it's not okay for him to do this.
He needs to come off the block. Do we need the police?
No, I think I have it.
Yes,
I've
we
tried
needed
the
the
police. They
police.
don't care.
Would you stop?
I'm not going to stop recording people assaulting me or threatening me. This will not happen.
He's not. He's walking.
I don't care if he's recording or not. He doesn't get to do this.
He's walking.
This is not okay. I can tell he's walking away. I am recording for my safety.
Okay, you guys are safe right back.
Right? And there's
I would love
Malcolm.
for somebody to call the police,
Yeah.
but the police won't listen to me. They've been predatory towards me too. The first time I was ever assaulted by him was right over there at the cans. And I went across the street to get away from him. But as soon as somebody starts assaulting me, I'm going to record it every time I see them for my safety. I don't like being assaulted. Now, I make sure that I'm off the property. I make sure that I'm on the sidewalk here so that there hopefully won't be any issues with any of the people who work at the store, and everybody there's been real cool with me. But that stuff needs to stop. Between that and then people throwing pumpkins at my vehicle and egging my car and all that other stuff, like I just want to be left alone. I'm a human being. I can't defend myself against people like that. Of course.
What was he doing?
Assaulting me on multiple occasions. That's why I record. Because there are so many people like him.
Well, next time I see him around here and you run, I'll make sure I intervene first, okay? I don't want this to happen to you. So.
Now that was October 17th. And you'll get to hear Malcolm talking in this.
I'm sorry about that.
He's assaulted me here on this property at least twice. He assaulted me across the street at least twice. He assaulted me over at the library. He assaulted me over at the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Well, now that we know what he looks like.
His name is Wolnez, and he's done this repeatedly. I don't want to have these problems. People have solutions like, why don't you move elsewhere? Why don't you move elsewhere? I'm disabled. I live on $800 a month. That's not enough to live on, let alone move somewhere.
Absolutely.
I had to try to establish myself here and pay a bunch of money I didn't have to get a post office box here. Obviously, I'm not trying to start any problems, but that guy's been trying to break my phone, and he's been assaulting me repeatedly, and I can't even go to the cops. They talk over me and pretend like there's not a problem. When it's a homeless, disabled male, unless we have a friend or family member who cares, the cops are just going to talk over us and send us to mental health.
Well,
That's exactly how it is. I record for my safety. I'm stuck in public. It's legal for me to record in public. I'm not going just flashing it at people and pointing it at people for no fucking reason. It's pointed at me most of the time or the ground. I have to record for my safety because it's not just wolnez. And he got more and more brazen. Now, mind you, there's a few of the situations with wolnez that I skipped over, not intentionally. It's because there's so fucking many of them. Now, in this is one where he's trying to talk nice, like he didn't assault me, like he's not victimizing me, like he's not hitting my phone. And yes, he broke my phone. This is a situation where he fucking cracked the shit out of it.
you just let us know. Now, can you stand all right?
No, I dropped down to the ground so that if he hit me, I could turtle up. But I needed to make sure that he didn't break my phone further. He absolutely did. I mean, he cracked the screen all to hell.
Okay, well, next time if you feel in any danger from him, you come tell us, all right?
I feel in danger from him every time I see him. That's why I record.
Why don't you try coming into the store when that happens?
I have. Miriam has been real good about trying to keep me safe. Same thing with Candy. Same thing with, well, pretty much everybody that works at Starbucks. I'm sorry, I'm real terrible with names, and I'm scared.
We are all willing to help. Just let us know.
Yes, ma'am.
Feel free to come inside, and if he does anything inside, I mean, we have a little more legs to stand on because it's public. Lots of witnesses.
Yup, and that's the thing, is that there was lots of witnesses to him doing it outside and inside. And thank goodness for Malcolm. Thank goodness for those folks. And you get to hear right there, I was given instructions by the store manager of what I'm supposed to do for my safety. Go inside of the store and let someone know. Let them know. So they've known what he looks like since October 17th, and several of the other staff members there, like Miriam, were there for the first interaction. The very first interaction with Wolnez, she got to see that with her own 2 eyes. She's also one of the volunteers at the First Christian Church. She's also the person that when I found drugs on the property, I took them to Miriam because she was working the customer service counter, or I took them to Barb, and I made sure I recorded it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Malcolm. He's not angry with me for recording. He's angry with me because when he was harming me the first time, I pulled out my camera and started recording for my safety. And that was the first time he assaulted me. And it's not your fault. And I don't want to get in trouble because people are victimizing me on the property. I try to do stuff away from the property. I park my car over there as much as possible. I mean,
Now you can hear my voice. Yeah, I'm talking faster. I'm razzled and frazzled. I have literally just been assaulted by this man. Obviously, I'm not going to be perfectly calm and collective every fucking time that people do this. Eventually, yeah, I'm going to have a mental breakdown from these assaults. I'm going to have a mental breakdown from these people and the people that they're able to convince. People who aren't going to bother looking stuff up. You damn right I speak up. You damn right I follow the instructions. I follow the rules to the best of my ability. I follow the laws and the recording laws to the best of my ability. I follow the rules of the people at Safeway to the best of my ability. I also explain that the cops gaslight me because they don't want to do their jobs. That's why it's important to turn it in with the victim. Make sure it's on paper. And make sure that it's recorded. That way there's actual evidence of the situations. Obviously, I've been saving actual evidence of the situations. Now we can listen to literally dozens of recordings of him screaming at me, throwing rocks at me, antagonizing me. We could also go to his channel. That's right, Andrew Wolnez has his own channel. And it's dedicated to me. That's right. And what does he want to claim? Let's see, show more. So he was stalking my vehicle. Here when he came by earlier, he wanted to say he's going to do whatever he wants. And fuck me. He'll do whatever the fuck he wants.
Getting
my old man's meds from Safeway.
Yup.
I don't give a fuck. I do what I want. Getting my old man's meds from Safeway. I don't give a fuck. I do what I want. Getting my
See, that's the problem with actual stalkers. They hate getting busted. They hate it when I speak up. They certainly don't like being called the things that they called me. It's not a pleasant experience for me. And of course, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of recordings of him fucking harassing me, throwing stuff at my vehicle. This is him stalking my car.
You leave me the fuck alone. I know all about your sick little mind.
This is from today.
All about your sick little fucked up mind now. I can't believe you murdered that little girl. That poor little girl. Just because she didn't like you. Just because you weren't what she wanted. I know all about you now. That sucks.
Yup, sure he does.
I ain't gonna stop going in there either.
Literally stalking me. This is after he's been trespassed from the property, by the way.
It's just gonna be straight up unfucking uncomfortable for you.
It's been uncomfortable for me, and this is the thing. This is his channel. This is him literally stalking my vehicle.
Dirty piece of shit. I got you now. Sucks to be you. Habitual harasser and abuser. That's what you are. Exactly what you are.
Now, by this time, how many times had he assaulted me? He'd assaulted me at least 7 times. He'd assaulted my vehicle at least 8 times. He'd assaulted my phone, well, you get to see, repeatedly. You get to hear him calling me a pedophile. You get to hear him accusing me of killing somebody and being wanted for murder in Colorado. What was that woman's name? Do you remember? It's Natalie Marie Bollinger. And here he is keeping his stuff up. Something that isn't even true. Something that any fucking moron can look up Natalie Marie Bollinger. And you can see who actually fucking killed her.
You need to be in a state hospital. This is where you need to be.
So this guy stalks me to my car, no matter where I park my car. And he comes and assaults me at churches. He wants to pretend like he's doing nothing wrong. He's been stalking me since September 21st. Because he was pissed off that when he was bullying me and trying to antagonize and intimidate me and trying to get others involved in harming me, that I stuck up for myself. I recorded it for my safety and the safety of those around me.
Hospital. Where they can force you meds and watch over you so you don't hurt yourself or others.
Now, how many times do you see me swinging in any of these? Not even once. Out of all those recordings of Wolnez swinging at me, how many times did I swing at him back? Now, of course, I recorded this for my situation too, because I was inside of the Safeway, and I come out, and lo and behold, while I'm recording, there's Wolnez over by my vehicle again. Obviously, I didn't bring this to Safeway. Obviously, I didn't bring this. Wolnez brought it over and over again. And of course, he's got several videos of this. See, here he's stalking my vehicle. Here he does it again, and he's fucking screaming at me. And, well, here he is again, another one. Then the cops showed up. Good for him. Maybe, now that he's got his own YouTube channel, where he's spreading slander, he even names Natalie Bollinger by
Shit
name.
like this. When I find out about him being a predator piece of shit. About him being a harassing fucking pile of shit. That poor Natalie Bollinger, she didn't deserve that. Just because he didn't, just because he didn't fit the mold, he's gonna kill her. Shoot her in the head. After he threatens to shoot himself in the head.
Now let's see this. Who killed Natalie Bollinger?
Joseph Lopez. According to 9 News, Joseph Lopez, 23, told investigators that he shot Natalie Bollinger after responding to an ad she placed on Craigslist looking for someone to kill her. According to court documents previously obtained by 9 Wants to Know, Lopez has been sentenced to 48 years in prison plus 5 years probation as part of the plea deal.
Now, how many videos do I have of him screaming at me? How many videos do I have of him beating on my vehicle? How many videos are there of him getting violent because he's pissed off that he got recorded breaking the fucking law? He's not the first predator I've had to deal with. Them youngins he wanted to use as an excuse. Well, you can tell that that was bullshit. With Natalie Bollinger, you can tell that that's bullshit. Now let's go to the situation where... Oh, let's show you the caption on this one. This is one that apparently became upcoming instead of actually recording. Wolnez just walked on Safeway property to get in my face and yell. That's 12/11/2023. Oh, come on. Wolnez just walked on Safeway property to get in my face and yell, "I'll do whatever the fuck I want." Yep, and what did he say in that video? Same thing. He'll do whatever the fuck he wants. There's a reason he got recorded. He got recorded 5 times last night. He came by 5 times last night. Now let's go to the situation where... Now, mind you, Malcolm had already gotten involved in the situation. Malcolm had already gotten involved and told me if I'm being harmed, go inside the store. If he does anything in the store, they can do something about it. He's accusing me of doing stuff with my little sister. Oh, Wisdom Seeker retracted her message. Oh, come on now, please. Please play. Alright, so this is what happens when your phone is completely full. And thank goodness I learned how to do this. Did I do it wrong? It says 0.99 gigabytes available. 273 megabytes memory freed up. That's all I've got to work with. Wisdom Seeker type, that was accidental, the 19. Yes, ma'am. That's how old Natalie Bollinger was when she was killed. Guess how old she was when we became friends? She was 18. She was an adult. And although she thought she was in love with me, and the evidence does show in her own words, obviously I didn't feel the same way. I did love her, but not in love. Not by a long shot. Jamie cured me of that shit. So now we can go back to YouTube. Jamie again, Sean David. That'll allow me to click on this. Oh, come on now. This is the video that I'm recording right now at this very moment. This is the video from the 11th. According to this, it's the 12th. And then the video where wolnez came into the Safeway, it says it was streamed 2 days ago.
Just come into the building to harass me.
December 9th.
Why did you have sex with a 4-year-old?
I did.
Who said that?
Andrew Wolnez came into the other entrance. I came in, I sat down on the thing, I turned off the video that I was recording. He stopped by the door, saw me in there, stepped in, and accused me of having sex with a 4-year-old.
I guess he's just trying to deflect his own problems.
The problem is he keeps doing this stuff, and it's not just him that does this. I mean, he goes saying that stuff, and people harm me because they heard it. It doesn't matter if it's true to anybody. They just want somebody to hurt, and if he says it to the wrong person, somebody just looking for an excuse to harm somebody, I gotta deal with it. It's bad enough that I have to deal with him and all the racist youngins and people and this stuff.
Now wolnez will
I
actually
leave him
come
alone
in
in
while I'm
person,
recording
and I go
this.
completely around him. If I had help pulling out the paperwork to take him to court, we could have stopped this months ago, but people don't quite understand what that means. Actually filling out the paperwork and turning it in together. The neighbors can help you with that, but he hasn't been able to make the time because he's not able to make the time, but I'm still taking this abuse every day. Okay, but what am I supposed to do? I do come into the Safeway, but even in here, he's been making sure that he comes in while I'm in here and make sure he walks as close as possible. But
Stand over here. We won't let him do anything.
yes, ma'am.
I guarantee you. No, there he is right there.
I'm tired
And if he throws a fit here, he'll get escorted out.
Yes, ma'am.
You need to get out of the store. You
need to leave.
You need to get out of the store.
This guy needs to go.
You need to get out of the store.
I don't need to do anything.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna call the police.
Yes, ma'am.
Now what did the police do? They gaslighted her and gaslit me. Said that I brought it on myself. Well, that's not okay, especially not out of police officers. Especially out of police officers. And she did call them, by the way.
I've got multiple recordings of the situation that are offline.
How much would it be for 8 pieces of
But yeah, I followed Malcolm's instructions. You got to hear Malcolm himself. What instructions did he give me? And did I follow them? Absolutely I did. And the people who tell me to come talk to them, I do come talk to them when that happens. They say to let them know, and I do. Now, it lasted for a while that I could go into the Safeway. Every time that Wolnez pulled that shit, I'd go into the Safeway. When them youngins pulled that shit, I'd go into the Safeway. I was told to let someone know. I always let someone know. Nobody should have to go through this. And I got the recordings with my little sister, too. They're on this YouTube channel. Wolnez wants to make false allegations. Thinks it's okay. On the bright side, I did record everything with me and my little sister. I did tell my sister if it's the only way to keep her and my niece safe, she has my permission to pretend I'm some sort of a sicko. And she let me know that her and my niece were having their lives threatened. These people kept this up, kept harassing my sister over and over again. And although my little sister is trying to be a good Christian woman, which means no lying, I did ask her to lie. When my little sister let me know that her and my niece's lives are still being threatened, I told her that the only two ways to put a stop to this shit are for her to either A, help me to turn it in together with me, or pretend that I'm some sort of nasty ass, perverted, filthy fucking predator. Well, my little sister isn't willing to do that. Yes, my sister is afraid for her daughter's life. Absolutely. But she's not so afraid that she's willing to put me in prison for things that I did not do. Even knowing that that is an option, even with my sister knowing that I am willing to pretend I did something I didn't. The thing is, it won't make any difference. She has to pretend to be a victim, or it won't work. My sister doesn't want to pretend I'd do anything like that. She also doesn't want her daughter's life threatened. I gave her an easy out. I gave her an easy out, an option that would have helped to make sure that her and my niece are safe from these predators for the rest of their lives. But my sister's not willing to do that. My predators have been allowed to do whatever they want by calling me mentally ill. Wisdom Seeker typed, "It is legal to record in public." Yes, ma'am, I am well aware. You were absolutely right. By the way, I sent you those messages from Natalie. I was wondering when you were going to get back to me. I should probably take a screenshot of that. Some people, when they watch my videos later on, some of them don't actually save the words. They don't save the comments. So I got to take screenshots of it. I'm fine with Wolnez recording me. And as long as he's across the street doing it, fuck it. Go ahead. See, the thing is, I record for my safety, not to make you out to be the bad guy. When I'm frustrated about the things that people have done, nice people, people who never intended any harm, when I speak up about the situations, it's not because they're evil people. It's not because I hate them. It's because I hate the situation. I hate the fact that the people that I'm supposed to go to, the ones that are offering to help, I'm not able to get a hold of at night when Wolnez is pulling that stuff. Now, they helped me to pull my vehicle over here. Sorry, to push my vehicle over here. And I never wanted any of these people's names to be public. I never wanted to be in Tillamook. Hell, I didn't know Tillamook existed. I tell people I'm harmed over slander. You get to hear Wolnez. His excuse for harming me is what? It's all slander. The evidence shows, first of all, that I was stalked by Natalie and her friends, not the other way around. It shows that they were threatening my life and the lives of my friends and family, that they were calling me repeatedly, that they were making fake accounts in my friends' names over and over. It shows that before I went to Virginia and when I was in Virginia, I did what Natalie wanted and what her sister wanted. Wisdom Seeker typed, "It's shocking that this is happening and he is not in jail for assault." Well, Miss Wisdom Seeker, the same thing with a lot of other predators. When you've tried telling on the police, especially if you're a homeless, disabled man, they will literally do everything that they can to use you as a roll-through because it makes them money. Once they try pretending that you're a schizophrenic skis ball for telling on them, there's two routes that they go. Either number one, they trump up bogus charges. They take you to the hospital to try to have you rubber stamped as mentally ill. That's where the suicide watch thing comes in. When you're bullied to the point that you want your life to end, there's one of two ways it's going to go. Either one, you go in by yourself to try to turn in the abuse, in which case they will victimize you for being abused and for being honest. They will either lock you up on false charges or they will take you to the hospital and try to have you diagnosed with something so they can say, oh, we don't have to listen to him, he's mentally ill. Meanwhile, that's why we're so easy to victimize. And that's why there are laws in place that are supposed to protect us.
Now I'm magically whatever the officers say, huh? If the officer says I'm schizophrenic, then I must be schizophrenic. If the officer says I have ADHD, I must have ADHD. If the officer says that he wants me to be injected with Haldol and Ativan, goddamn right the hospital will do it. They don't have the balls to stand up to the cops any more than most. And also, in the current situation with the homeless, both the hospitals and the police make massive quantities of profits for ignoring the crimes against us, allowing people to harm us over and over again until we have a mental breakdown. They want to lock you up for suicidal ideations. Now, if you go in with a friend or family member who actually gives a shit about you and will speak up, it's different. Because instead of trying to lock you up as if you're a criminal for coming forward about being abused, or as if you're some sort of crazy lunatic because you want your life to end over this abuse, and instead of trying to end your life, you try to get help stopping the abuse. And so you're locked up on suicide watch, called mentally ill. And then no matter what, anybody can harm you. Anybody can hurt you and gaslight you to get away with it. But you know what? I do speak up because somebody has to. Even if it's only me. Of course, he wants the videos down. Of course, he doesn't want people to know that he victimized me. And that's how this started. He victimized me over a bunch of racist little shitheads who were victimizing me over a drug addict who I gave a cigarette to. And yes, I recorded in that situation not just for my safety, but also for the safety of anybody else in the vicinity when Christian was like that. When them youth are doing those things, I'm not just recording for my safety. I'm also recording for their safety from anyone who may choose to harm them. I'm also recording for the safety of the people who own the businesses there. I'm here in this parking lot because as soon as that situation with Wolnez happened inside of the store, I was told, hey, we'll move your vehicle over to the parking lot Safeway. We've already got permission for you to have your car there. They said, we'll push it underneath that light. And we're underneath the light that they wanted me to be pushed under. I did what they wanted. It hasn't stopped Wolnez, has it? That was on the 9th that Wolnez came into the store to do that stuff. Now, he'd been doing that for about a week by that point. Coming into the Safeway and walking as close to me as fucking possible. One of those special, ha-ha, you can't do anything about it things. Now, Wisdom Seeker, you could definitely send me some messages and help to get this evidence, actual evidence out there. I don't encourage people not to listen to my predators. I encourage them to listen to my predators. If you listen to my predators, they state very loud and clear why it is that they're harming me. And somebody like Wisdom Seeker, who's gotten to see some of the evidence, can definitely vouch for that fact. I've sent Wisdom Seeker evidence that I wasn't stalking Natalie. I was trying to get her to stop the abuse that I was enduring. I sent evidence that, in Natalie's own words, by the way, in Natalie's own words, what her father had done. That email that I exposed Natalie Bollinger and
well, I exposed her father with. That came from an email from Natalie Bollinger from 2016. There's also Natalie Bollinger's own words. As an adult, the things that she had to say about how I treated her and her sister when they were underage. I tried to run them off. And both of them, in their own words, in their messages to me, said that I did the right thing, said that they shouldn't have been there, said they were looking for the wrong kind of love in the wrong kind of places. Natalie Bollinger's last public post was a complete sham. It was her pretending that because I did the things that she wanted and that her sister wanted, that somehow after the fact that means I'm a stalker. No, it doesn't. The lady at the deli who's been helping me out, she's gotten to see the messages between Natalie Bollinger and I. The Facebook Messenger from start to finish between Natalie Bollinger and I, where it talks about her Uncle Troy, where it talks about her ex-boyfriend, Tim Beeson, and him threatening to kill himself while I was visiting her in Virginia. Her saying that she's going to need me to come visit. Her saying she thought she was in love with me more than once. Her saying that she was infatuated with me. I've been showing this evidence since before Natalie was killed, to the best of my abilities. Before Natalie was killed, I wasn't able to take a screenshot, so I couldn't just screenshot Natalie Bollinger's email to me from 2016. I had to copy and paste it to my Facebook to make that. You're goddamn right I spoke up. If I speak up, it's stalking, isn't it? If I go to my friends or family for help stopping the abuse, which is what you're supposed to do, then I'm a stalker, aren't I? If I go to the police about the abuse, you call me a rat. You call me a narc. The police officers wanted to give me shitty advice, saying things like, well, you know, if it's that big a problem, then you guys should really try to settle it out of court. Well, that's awful difficult to do when you're being assaulted. You're separated from your friends, from your loved ones, from your safety network, because of people who are physically assaulting you over things that never happened. Natalie Bollinger, she was absolutely molested and raped, but not by me. In her own words, it was her father and Tim Beeson. And she let many other people know that. When Alicia Bollinger disappeared on 3 different occasions after her sister died, all 3 of those occasions it was over drugs. On the multiple occasions where I have interacted with Alicia Bollinger, I've let the cops know about it, including her dad getting on her account and harassing me at my grandmother's funeral. You guys want to pretend that me speaking out publicly is harassment. It's not. You want to pretend that me recording the people who are stalking me, threatening me, and assaulting me. You want to pretend that that's against the law. It's not. You want to pretend that if I record people harming me, that I'm somehow breaking recording laws because I recorded the situation. I'm not.
Wolnez wants to pretend that going by my vehicle to retaliate because he got busted is an okay thing to do. Scott DeCosta got busted too. Leslie Snell got busted too. But they didn't want to face the music, did they? So they just abused their power. And that's what sucks about your predators when they're in a position of power. You also get to see how nice I was to these people who were predatory towards me. How nice I was to Clint Snell. How nice I was to Carl Snell. Andrew Wolnez decided to be a predator, and he got busted being a predator. Wisdom Seeker, are you still on here, or did you log off already? Anyway, I got 81% battery on this phone, so if Wolnez tries to pull anything tonight, I can pull out my phone and start recording it. The problem with having to conserve battery is that basically I have to keep my phone off or not recording so that I conserve battery. And when he shows up, I got to start recording when he shows up. Now, you also get to tell that in a lot of these videos, he's coming up to me while I'm recording and harassing me while I'm recording, assaulting me while I'm recording. And the thing is that those recordings, they didn't need to be about him. He made those situations where I had to focus on the abuse from him because he just won't stop. Cops don't want to do their jobs for homeless, disabled people. Neither does TFCC, neither does Northwest Senior and Disability Services. They don't want to do their jobs, especially not for some home bum, especially not for some homeless person from elsewhere. It's a lot easier for them to just stuff me into the mentally ill junkie category with everybody else and make their tax dollars off of it. Meanwhile, these services that are supposed to help me, I spend all my money, all of my disability money, running around in the circles that they make me run through and jump through. Well, I have to pay primarily drug addicts to help me move my things. They're the ones that have the free time. I get taken advantage of them, or get taken advantage of by them a lot. Not because I'm stupid, but because I'm desperate. If I can't carry that shit into the library, I can't carry that shit into the library. If I can't carry it up and down the stairs at storage, I can't carry it up and down its storage. If I can't drive to storage and back, I'm not able to go. And my car is currently out of commission. Of course, as many times as it's been beaten on, it makes perfect sense. See, well, we've got recording after recording of Wolnez getting violent with me, getting violent with my vehicle, getting violent with my phone. Recording after recording. The problem is the safety issues with the police. If it was safe to go to the police, if I could go to the police without getting talked over and gaslighted, then it'd be safe. If I could go to the police and know that they're going to do something about it, it's a lot different. These predators like to gloat. Ha ha, you can't do nothing. Ha ha, you can't do nothing. They like to push the boundaries as much as possible. And then, of course, they want to get angry when I speak up about it. They want to be angry when I record it. They want to play victim. Oh, poor them, poor them. Well, that shit don't fly. Optimally, we'll find a way to turn this stuff into somebody who's actually going to do something with it. I can take these videos down from public. They're only public because the cops won't do their jobs for a homeless disabled man. Neither will TFCC, Adult Protective Services don't care. I've got hundreds of recordings with all these different places that I'm sent to that are supposed to help me, with all of them pawning me off on someone else. Every agency I call gives me the numbers to 2 or 3 agencies I've already called. And every time I call those agencies, they give me numbers for 2 or 3 other places that I've already called. Over and over and over. And Wolnez is pissed off that he's been recorded repeatedly pulling this shit. He was repeatedly going by my vehicle yesterday pulling this shit. Also, people don't like Martinez. They didn't like the attitude. They didn't like the fact that he blew it off. And that's one of the important things about having witnesses and people who are there. It makes it so it's not just the officer's word versus mine, but those people still have to come forward about what they know. Wolnez is going to have to be public with his apology. He's going to have to admit that he did the wrong thing, and he's going to have to admit that, well, he had the wrong information. When Robert Farnsworth stopped doing the things that Andrew Wolnez is doing, what happened with Farnsworth? I stopped recording him. There's no reason to. He's not doing anything to me. Wolnez, on the other hand here, his pride is hurt. He was wrong about them youngins. He was wrong about my sister. He was wrong about Natalie Bollinger. Dude's just wrong. The fact that he wants to assault me repeatedly and stalk me wherever I go. I have mobility issues. I can't go very far. He has to try to go out of his way to get as close to me as he can. If someone helped me to fill out the paperwork to turn him in, actually took the time to sit down with me to fill out that paperwork and go in with me to turn that paperwork in, we could do something about Wolnez. Same as we could have done something about James Murphy. Same as we could have done something about Molly. Same as we could have done something about Farnsworth. In the end, it was the drug addicts here who I had been nice to, who were able to get to get Farnsworth to stop. It was going to those people and telling them what happened with Ashley that got Ashley to stop. When I was in Tacoma, Washington, and my computer was stolen, and it had a lot of evidence in it. It was drug addicts out on the street that got my computer back. Because they're as adamant about doing something about child molesters as I am. It wasn't the police in any of these situations that actually helped me. It was people like Jared Scudder. It was people like Jason Scudder. Those are the people who came through to try to help. It was people like Dallas Palmer. It was people like Caleb at the Fred Meyers. People like those here at Safeway, like Malcolm. But this never needed to be a situation where it should have been Safeway employees protecting me. The police are supposed to protect all of us from these things and from these people. I followed instructions. I recorded for my safety. I followed instructions. I went inside. If he does anything inside of the building, what happens? For a lot of these folks, it's not entirely necessary. If I had a place where I could sit down with my evidence and actually organize it, I wouldn't need these people to come forward as much because I've already recorded the actual situations. But it's their words that are important, not my evidence. Because it's too easy to deny my evidence by just pretending it doesn't exist, pretending I'm schizophrenic and delusional. And then the DA doesn't want to deal with it. The judge doesn't want to deal with it. It's easier to just roll you through and make a profit and kick you back out onto the streets. When I say there's a safety issue that's ongoing with these different services, and then those places from those services pretend like I just don't want the help. No, there's a very big difference. When you force me to go to my predators to ask them to stop, like police officers telling me that I needed to get a hold of Natalie and try to settle it out of court, or telling me, this is what most of them said, they had real police work to do, or I just needed to man up. That was in Chapel, Nebraska. I speak out because if I don't, nobody's going to. It looks as if Wisdom Seeker is left for the night. It happens. Obviously, this video is over 2 hours long. I'm not hearing Wolnez. He's not screaming or shouting. Maybe Timothy Sadler actually did something about the situation. Maybe not. Wisdom Seeker typed, I'm here. Hey, Wisdom Seeker, did I send you any evidence across the emails? I'm fairly certain that I at least forwarded 5 or 6 messages between me and Natalie. And I'm absolutely certain that the first message that I sent you was a forward from Natalie Bollinger's address, from her email address. I'd like for you to confirm that on here if you could. Obviously, Wisdom Seeker typed, I finally got my Gmail back running. Oh, I didn't know you had a problem with it. You'd sent me a message and then you didn't send any back after that. But you replied to the message that I sent from Natalie Bollinger, the one from 2016. Wisdom Seeker typed, I'll have to check that. Yes, ma'am. Wisdom Seeker typed, yes. Yes, ma'am. That's the thing, is that it's not that I don't have the evidence. It's not that it's untrue. It's that people don't want to listen. The police already decided my guilt. And when it turned out that they were wrong, they just kept it up. Now, there's a lot of people, and I've gone back and posted these videos time and time again. The people who promised that they would help me, getting a hold of me to tell me that their friends and family and children were being threatened. Wisdom Seeker typed, I went through terrible COVID. I've missed texting with you. Well, thank you for coming back to visit, Miss Wisdom Seeker. There's a few videos. I keep posting them up over and over. I repost the situation with Wolnez. The nastiest stuff I didn't even post in this video. When you see what I'm actually going through, if you want to be so fucked up a person after seeing what I'm going through to try to justify it with slander, you're a pretty messed up person. And the thing with Wolnez, he's not the only person who's done this. He's not even the only person in Tillamook who's done this. Now, I've only had to physically defend myself against Wolnez once. I made sure I stuck my leg between his legs so he couldn't roll over. I made sure to pull his hoodie over his face so that he couldn't see what he was doing, and so that he couldn't headbutt me anymore. He just kept on elbowing me in the knee after that. And that's one of the situations that sucks badly. One of the reasons that I have to be so afraid when my phone dies. See, Andrew Wolnez does this shit whether I'm recording or not. I followed the instructions dozens of times when he's Safeway. I've gone inside of the Safeway. See, Malcolm, you get to hear him on this very video. You get to hear his voice and him telling me what to do. And I do follow his advice. I don't get to decide Wolnez's actions. He shouldn't have been slandering my name. He should not have been victimizing me over people being predatory towards me. He doesn't want to be called a predator. He shouldn't have done predatory shit towards me. Now, of course, you get to see that no matter how much people do this to me, it's somehow magically okay. But if I even threaten to do these things back, well, magically it's all illegal. It's not illegal to do it to me, it's only illegal for me to do it back. It's not illegal to do it to me, it's only illegal for me to threaten to do it back. It's called cause and effect. Yeah, I love donuts. Andrew Wolnez wanted to bear false witness. He wanted to assault me and threaten me. And he wants to be so deluded as to believe that he can come do these things to me, actively pursue me, and then play like he's a poor innocent victim. Well, he ain't. And neither am I. I'm no angel. I'm no saint. Josh Hughes, he said, if I was deaf, I would think you were a saint. And if I was blind, I would think you were Satan. That's because you can see with your own two eyes the things that I do. And you can hear with your own two ears the things that I say. I don't always talk nicely to people, and that's for good reason. There are times when speaking softly is no longer viable. If Wolnez does not fuck with me tonight, it'll be the first night in probably a week that I haven't been fucked with by him. I don't know. I'd have to go through my videos. I could be wrong. There might be 1 or 2 days where after the place was closed, I didn't have rocks thrown at my vehicle or have people yelling at me. Maybe 1 or 2. But I don't know, because this shit happens so often and so frequently, and it takes me a while to recover from it. I don't get to recover from it when it's happening every day. When I was staying with Kenneth Wilson and Leatha Plunkett, before Natalie was killed, I was paying rent there. And paying rent in Nebraska. I couldn't afford rent in both places, and I had to make a choice between living at Ken Wilson and Leatha Plunkett's so I could turn in my predators, hopefully. That's the people in Nebraska were having me do. Yeah, my disability was in Nebraska, but Nebraska was sending me to Colorado to get help. So I had to find a place in Colorado. I had to find somebody willing to take me in and somebody willing to do so for cheap because I wasn't rich. I was getting paid less than $700 a month in disability at the time. Scott Shaw typed, "Hey, did say in today's video he wasn't going to stop now. Well, he wasn't going to stop to begin with. He'd already said he wasn't going to stop. Well, guess what? I'm not going to stop recording the abuse. And I'm not going to stop speaking out about it. Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for coming on here and typing with me tonight. Hopefully, Wolnez is done with his bullshit, and I can get back to exposing the real issue here. The inappropriate police response. Police officers gaslight homeless victims nationwide. They try to insinuate that the victim must have wanted it. Scott Shaw typed, I can't believe I didn't see some of the videos you shown tonight. Very valuable. Yes, sir, Mr. Shaw. But there's also over 7,700 videos on this channel. Why do I record live on video? Or live on YouTube? Publicly? Because when I didn't, I was literally forced to plead guilty to crimes I didn't commit in order to get the evidence back. All the cops had to do was trump up bullshit charges. And then hold them as long as they can and then let them go. Now, if they've got control of my evidence, yeah, I've been forced through physical abuse to plead guilty to crimes I never committed. But it wasn't just physical abuse. It was also gaslighting by my own public pretenders who didn't want to make any effort whatsoever to requisition the body cameras from the officers. Scott Shaw typed, that's how I found the footage I didn't see, and others. Yeah, there's a lot. If you go back to the very beginning of my channel, when it gives you the option of looking at videos, if you click the option to view them from oldest to newest, you'll get to see a lot of the people that were involved when Natalie died, before Natalie died, after Natalie died, in the period in between when Natalie was killed and when they found the guy who actually killed her. There's a lot of it. People like Katie Cahill, Brandon Ratner. He's also written down as B. Ratner. Most of them have at the very beginning at least, most of them have the date that they happened on. Now it's difficult for me to access those from my phone and still record on it. The other phone that I have is not attached to any of my accounts on that, and that makes it difficult. I do actually depend on y'all to help me show this. See, the reason connection issues, the reason I started this channel is to show the abuse that I'm going through, to show the evidence that the police wouldn't look at, that the media wouldn't look at, the evidence that shows they decided upon my guilt because of my gender, because of my age, because of my financial destitution, and because of my desperation, because I was being harmed, and still am. Wolnez wanted to accuse me of molesting my 4-year-old sister. Well, obviously that ain't the case. Wanted to accuse me of murdering Natalie Bollinger. Literally By name, he accused me of murdering Natalie Bollinger, accused me of shooting her in the head. Well, it's pretty fucking obvious, based on the fact that I'm not in prison for it and Joseph Michael Lopez is. It's pretty fucking obvious that Joseph Michael Lopez shot Natalie Bollinger in the head. Now, this guy has been pulling this shit about Natalie Bollinger since the very first day. The very first day. The very first situation with him. He wanted to go running around telling people I was a pedophile. He wanted to enlist people to harm me along with him. To try to run me out of town when he did wrong shit. Did I try to enlist others to harm Wolnez? Well, oddly, you might be surprised to know that over a dozen people have offered to harm him for me. And most of them are recorded on my channel. Either making the suggestions or making the offerings themselves. And what do I tell them every time? I'm not okay with that. I hope that's not what happens. I don't like violence. I don't want violence. I'm treated like I deserve to be abused because I speak up about being abused. Imagine if your sister was raped and she spoke up about being raped in public because none of you would listen to her. And then you pretend that she brought it on herself because she went public about it. No, it doesn't fucking feel good. And as a victim of rape as a child, you goddamn right. I know when something's worse than rape. What Wolnez has been doing since September 21st is worse than rape. What the police here in Tillamook, Oregon have been doing since the very first situation with Molly. Of course, I don't trust the police, and of course, I don't trust Wolnez. I hear somebody out there. They're very faint, whoever it is, they're walking away. Fuck, that hurts. It's just a couple of people having a conversation over at the other end of the parking lot. Hopefully Wolnez is done with his BS. Hopefully somebody will get a hold of the guy and let him know who it is that actually killed Natalie Bollinger. Now there's a gentleman whose number I just got today. Well, yesterday, I guess. And I'll send him a bunch of this evidence in the morning.
There's another gentleman who was trying to help me, and, well, he has his own issues. We all do, don't we? When somebody needs help, we may not be able to help them immediately, but when it comes to being there for somebody so they can safely turn in abuse, instead of getting blown off, dismissed, disrespected, sent in expensive circles, what we need is somebody there with us in person. But if you can't do it in person, what can you do? Well, we can make a three-way call. And the stuff that I'm not able to do, you guys can help me with. If you have actual access to an actual computer, and you don't have to take it into the library to set it up. You've got your own house. You can sit down at it any time that you want. You don't have to spend the time to set it up and take it down every time you use it. Well, you've got a lot of access that I don't, which means that you can forward a lot of this evidence. The thing is, who do we send it to? Anyway, since the voices that are outside are obviously people that I don't know that are just having a conversation, they're not starting any troubles, they're not hooting or hollering, they're not threatening to kill me or my friends and family, they're not making a bunch of false accusations. I don't have any reason to point the camera at them. They're not coming by my vehicle and kicking it. They're not throwing rocks at it. Now, some of the videos that I showed you came directly from wolnez's channel. If he gets 1,000 subscribers, he can record live. I hope he gets 1,000 subscribers. But I hope even more that y'all take this seriously and try to turn this into every agency you possibly can. I got 92% battery on this phone. So in case of emergencies, I've got enough battery to last. There's 27% battery on my external battery left, so I can use that to charge my other phone. Obviously, I get overwhelmed with this stuff, and I do need help stopping it. You're better able to help if you know more about the situation, and the more you know, the more useful that you will be. And I do intend on using you for your voice. An advocate is supposed to speak up for us. The problem is trying to teach somebody how to speak up. How to recognize the tricks of the trade when it comes to police officers who don't want to do their jobs. And public pretenders who are useless as teats on a boar. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thank you for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's keeper too. And no victim left behind. Not even if they're homeless. Not even if they're male. Not even if they're white. Not even if they're short. Not even if they're broke.